the streets and houses, rainbow climbing high. Everyone can see it smiling over the sky. Paint the whole world with a rainbow.
Oh, hello! Welcome to Rainbow.
Okay, let's talk about Rainbow. Famous children's TV show, originally aired in 1972. Arguably, it's basically our British Sesame Street, which had been running since 1969. So, I can see its point. I can see it is educational. It's basically teaching every single thing that kids need to learn. Shapes, numbers, water, playing, behaviours. There's an endless list with this TV show. And considering it's been around for about 20 odd years, which is interesting. We have the likeable characters, of course, with Zippy, a very obscure, orange, blue-eyed creature who we don't know what he is. I think no one knows who Zippy is. If anyone wants to comment down below who Zippy is, be my guest. We've got George, who's always happy, though obviously I think there's a little bit of controversy that he is homosexual, which is he's pink and he has like sort of a high whispery type voice now and again, like something like that. I think in the similar vein, interesting. Again, another popular character along with Zippy. And then we've got Bungle, the brown bear, who surprisingly is nude in daytime, but wears pajamas at nighttime. Interesting. How bizarre. You kind of wonder why. That's the thing, I'm just speechless, I am. And then we've got the presenter. Obviously, we have Jeffrey. I forgot his surname now. But it's Jeffrey, obviously. Oh, lovable Jeffrey. Everyone loves Jeffrey, don't we? I need to say... Never mind. Yeah, so everyone loves Jeffrey. I said Jesper. Why? No, not Jesper. Jeffrey. Not. I keep thinking the name Jesper wants to come out, but it's Jeffrey I'm thinking of. Anyway, obviously Jeffrey was the main host. Obviously throughout the 20 odd years that Rainbow was on, he's good. He's very calm. He has a bit of energy to him, which is good. Like very colourful wearing, but he was a very good presenter at the time. He was. And then we've got the extras, of course, which are... What was it? Roddy, Dick and Jane? Roddy, Dick and Jane? Or Freddie Rod. I really can't remember, but there's three of them. There's two men, one woman. Really forgot now. And yeah, they supply musical singing. They do, obviously at the end of like a show or something, or maybe in the middle of the show now and again. They tend to sing. They do, which is interesting. And yeah, pretty good. And overall, it's just been pretty good. I mean, the original Rainbow obviously stands up perfectly. Stands on its own two legs, and it has done for a while. And afterwards, there was the ITV close down of 91-92, which, funny enough, Margaret Thatcher had a hand in, which is quite interesting if you watch a documentary. There is a little segment you can watch on YouTube, which is the ITV close downs from 2005. Well, a documentary from 2005, and it's basically Thatcher's doing when she left Downing Street in 1990. She obviously again had wars. I think she had wars with BBC. Actually, I think something in or just do ITV, and obviously biddings and stuff were going on, and obviously Carlton, Central, Granada, all, and Granada, Central, obviously Carlton. Interesting. They didn't do any interesting stuff by then. They end up being still open, funny enough. But stuff like TVS, TVAM, and Thames, especially, got the fall. Thames obviously had the biggest, you could say, TVography, filmography, and there enough a lot of back catalogue that was really good and very popular and more interesting enough than you see Carlton very much. I've never seen Carlton, but it's quite true actually because Sir Paul Fox, who was with the BBC back in the day, and said like Carlton didn't make any decent television really prior to stuff like from let's say from the mid-90s onwards they had some interesting stuff as well, which was pretty good, but earlier stuff nah. Whereas and obviously Thames with a fall. Speaking of like with Thames, there was a few stuff that was meant to be like there was some stuff finished but never broadcast when the close downs happened. First thing was with Count Duckler. Obviously, they had a few episodes left over, about 7 episodes from the third season, and they broadcast a fourth season actually. And Central actually helped broadcast them. There was Minder, obviously, which around after season 8, Central taken over again from 9 and 10, and obviously what happened was with again not with the close down and everything. Rainbow actually did suffer quite badly, which resulted in that I wouldn't say horrible. It's a really bizarre sequel show, if you know what I mean. And then we got which became the Rainbow Toy Shop, which came out in '94, and that was produced by someone called Tetra Films, which was like a subdivision from Thames actually. So they decided to go that their own way with that. Jeffrey got the sack. A few people got the sack. Roy Skelton got the sack, and the only person who survived was Ronnie Lee Ju, who was Zippy's puppeter. Really, I mean everybody else just left except from him. Funny enough, and the Rainbow Toy Shop was a bit obscure to me. It reminded me of Open Up Hours, but however, it was it was sort of on the heels with Sutton Co. really, and it basically became like a duplicate very much. Like they were running a toy shop doing this other stuff, apart from. Well, not exactly, because I think the whole season was saying that entire shop and house, really. So it's basically a Sutton Co. clone, which was sort of a Open Hours type clone, if you know what I mean. So there's a bit of. Really. And they introduced a character named Cleo, who's a Blue Rabbit, which is a bit. Yeah, and afterwards it just fell through after about 95, I think. I mean, I don't know how long, around for 2 seasons, I think, 2 seasons. And afterwards, we got this other third revival, if you know what I mean, called Rainbow Days, which, again, to be honest, is sort of lesser known, like very lesser known it is. This came out in 96, and it featured a guy called Dale Superville, who obviously I think it was more return to form for the original Rainbow. Because of the toy shop, it was taking a different direction altogether with that one, and with Rainbow Days it was meant to go back to the original formula, what it was, what made Rainbow so great. But I think afterwards, because think of this, mid '90s, late '90s, everything was changing. Stuff was, there was a lot more interesting stuff in the '90s, and Rainbow Days sort of did suffer. Although it carried on for 2 seasons, '96 and '97. Afterwards, nothing. I think Rainbow had sadly died in the late '90s, really, about 21 years ago, really, and never made another attempted revival since, which I think is sort of good, I think. Although that seems, people are going to hate me in the comments, but I think Rainbow had a very longevity. It was it's like Glass of Summer Wine, really. However, that material kept going on. The scripts, the comedy, the acting, that actually kept going on. With Rainbow, obviously, it was sort of a similar thing. But with the original, after '92. People are not too sure, like ITV didn't know where to go with Rainbow afterwards because the lost presenter, most of the crew had gone, and they thought, well, they basically think maybe, well, they try something different, but that ended up didn't working. So they tried doing the old formula again, which many shows keep doing these days. Like the revival of a show. Obviously, with different presenters. Maybe like a 3-piece or something. And I think, well, let's do this. Let's do what they used to do, but do it our own similar way. It didn't quite work. I mean, Rainbow Days sort of did that, but not in the best way. I think it was bad timing, really. I mean, considering, again, with the different time, obviously, it wasn't the best, if you know what I mean. And people still don't remember this to this day. I mean, yeah. Speaking of, my introduction to Rainbow actually just came through the preschool favourites compilation, special collection compilation from 92 and 94, because they're the only VHS, the only compilations that Rainbow were on, which was the episode Sing Song and the very first episode of the Rainbow Toy Shop, New Friends. I didn't really mind the original stuff with with the Rainbow with Jeffrey and stuff. I thought was pretty good. I mean, it's been referenced many times. I mean, they appeared on The Weakest Link, and recently they appeared on for Pete's Up, really, which is so interesting. I thought, they're bringing. It's like you basically, and also that Marmite advert as well, from was it for the 90s, early 2000s. There's always interesting thing to bring them back, and they do have like some right voice actors. I mean, someone placing Roy Skelton. I mean, the guy actually does sound a little bit like Roy Skelton. Someone gets the voice of Zippy right, I would say, and the same with George as well. I think Ronnie Juice still around, so you do have like that, the right idea. But I think these days, maybe a Rainbow Revival might be considered. Because with Sooty, he's been reinstated. He's been reinvented many times. There's different incarnations of different shows with him. With Rainbow, there's only 3 different incarnations, very much. Maybe a 4th, maybe on the cards. Who knows? Maybe ITV. Maybe scraping down from the ball, at the bottom of the barrel, see what they can find. And maybe CITV really. They'll. Because it's a separate channel now, I think that'll possibly work. They could be end up presenting CITV for quite a bit. Similar to CBBC, really. That's a very similar, interesting idea. Rather than doing their own show, they can just present CITV doing the continue out. Like presenting on a Saturday morning or like afternoon on a weekday. That'll be interesting. That might be an interesting move. Maybe if people watch this, they might think, that is a really good idea. But who knows? I mean, TV these days is a bit hit and miss, really. There can be some good stuff, but there can be a load and load of crap, in my opinion. Hey. Anyway, that's it. I've been talking about Rainbow, which have run from 1972 to 1992, and then 1994 to 95, then 96 to 97, and then occasional TV ads here, there, and everywhere. So thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you for the next video. Goodbye.